All right, so picture this. You're a CFO. You've got this major investment decision staring you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on, instead of being stuck with those dusty old financial reports from who knows when,
Right.
you've got this magic crystal ball showing you your company's cash position right this second, like up to the minute.
Yeah.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
Real-time cash flow reporting.
Exactly.
But is it actually doable, especially when we're talking about the wild world of SAP S/4HANA?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
That's what we're diving into today.
All right.
We've got this super insightful article from SAP Insider Magazine by Dr. Marcos Esfantes Monge,
Okay.
plus some extra expert insights to help us break it all down.
Sounds good.
So get ready, because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of real-world implementation.
All right.
We'll see what those big-shot consulting firms are up against, the hurdles they face.
The stuff they don't always tell you about.
Exactly, the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here is that we're not just talking about some theory in a textbook. Real-time cash flow reporting. It's about completely changing how companies understand and manage their financial health.
Okay.
It's about moving from always looking in the rearview mirror, reacting to problems,
Right.
to being proactive, anticipating those challenges and opportunities as they pop up.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. We all know cash flow statements are crucial.
Absolutely.
They show us the money coming in and going out, but those traditional methods,
Yeah.
it's like trying to navigate rush hour traffic with a map from the Stone Age.
Uh-huh. I like that analogy.
You might eventually get there, but it's not going to be pretty.
Definitely not efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah, traditional methods often give you this static picture of the past.
Right.
But in today's fast-paced business world, you need a dynamic, real-time view to make smart decisions.
Makes sense.
And that's where SAP S/4HANA Group Reporting comes in.
Okay.
Think of it like the engine room of a powerful ship,
Okay.
designed to process tons of financial data and spit out those real-time reports.
All right, but I'm guessing setting this up isn't exactly a walk in the park.
You guessed it, it can get pretty complicated.
Now, this is where things get interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
Our sources are saying that even those seasoned SAP experts, the ones who supposedly know it all,
Yeah, the gurus.
they often hit roadblocks when they're trying to implement this real-time cash flow reporting.
Really?
The article actually mentions this example of a multinational pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
They tried to integrate real-time reporting into their existing planning process.
Ambitious.
Yeah, well, let's just say it didn't go so well.
Oof, I can imagine.
So what went wrong?
Well, it's because real-time reporting isn't just about generating a report.
Right.
It's about transforming how an entire organization deals with financial data.
Okay.
It takes meticulous planning, a deep understanding of your current systems, and most importantly, everyone needs to be on the same page.
Right. So alignment across all departments.
Exactly, or else it's like trying to conduct an orchestra where everyone's playing a different tune.
Okay, so let's break down some of the key ingredients in this recipe for real-time reporting success.
Right, let's do it.
First up, we've got reporting items.
Yep.
Think of these like the categories you see on a typical cash flow statement.
Right?
Things like operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities.
Yeah, the high-level buckets.
Right. They're the buckets where your cash flow data will be organized.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then within those buckets, we've got transaction types.
No, these are crucial.
Right.
Imagine each financial transaction in your SAP system has a little tag explaining what it is.
Okay.
Was it a sale, a payment, an investment, something else entirely?
Okay.
Those tags, those are your transaction types.
Right.
And they are absolutely essential for getting those real-time insights.
So they're like the bridge between the raw data and the reports we need to make decisions.
Exactly, they connect the dots.
So it's like we're categorizing each transaction to make sure it shows up correctly in our cash flow statement. But wouldn't that be a ton of manual work to categorize every single transaction?
That's where SAP S/4HANA shines.
Okay.
It's designed to automate a lot of that process.
Okay.
Once you've defined your transaction types correctly, the system can automatically assign them to transactions
Okay.
based on rules and configurations you set up.
So it's pretty slick.
It is, but there's a catch.
Okay. What's the catch?
Getting those transaction types configured correctly, that's where many organizations trip up.
Really?
It takes a deep understanding of both your SAP system and your specific business processes.
And our sources confirm this.
Yeah.
They say that even seemingly simple tasks,
Okay.
like adding real-time cash flow reporting to an existing planning process,
Right.
can quickly turn into a nightmare if those underlying transaction types aren't defined properly.
Absolutely. You can end up with inaccurate reports, missed deadlines, and a whole lot of frustration.
So it's not just about getting the numbers right, it's about making sure those numbers reflect reality.
Precisely. And that's why this level of accuracy and precision is so critical, especially when we're talking about real-time reporting.
Right, because if you're making decisions based on bad data,
You're essentially navigating a ship through a storm with a broken compass.
not a good situation.
Not at all.
All right, so we've established those transaction types are super important,
Mission critical.
but let's not forget about the other key ingredient in this real-time reporting recipe.
Okay, what else is there?
Sub-item categories.
Okay, I've heard of those.
They might sound a bit technical,
Yeah.
but they play a crucial role in providing that granular level of detail that CFOs and other decision makers really need.
Think of them as the spices that add depth and nuance to your financial reporting,
Okay, I like that.
while transaction types tell you the what of a transaction.
Right.
Sub-item categories provide the why and the how.
Okay.
They allow you to break down those broad cash flow categories into more specific subcategories,
Like,
giving you a much richer understanding of where your cash is coming from and where it's going.
so if transaction types are the main ingredients, sub-item categories are the seasonings that make the dish really flavorful.
Haha. Yes, exactly.
I'm starting to get hungry.
Me too.
But seriously, those sub-item categories sound incredibly useful.
They are.
But I'm guessing they also add another layer of complexity to the whole implementation process.
You're absolutely right. Defining and configuring sub-item categories correctly. It takes a deep understanding of your business and your reporting needs.
Okay.
You need to think carefully about what level of detail is actually meaningful for your organization.
So finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. Too much detail and you'll drown in data. Too little and you'll miss out on those valuable insights.
So it's all about balance.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the core components of real-time cash flow reporting in SAP S/4HANA.
Reporting items, transaction types, sub-item categories.
Right, but before we move on, I want to address a question that might be on our listeners' minds.
Okay, what is it?
Is 100% real-time reporting even possible?
Ooh, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. Or is it more of a fantasy and mythical creature we're chasing?
That's an excellent question. And to be honest, achieving true 100% real-time cash flow reporting is incredibly difficult,
Okay.
if not impossible for most companies.
So why is it so elusive?
Well, there are a few factors at play.
Okay.
First, you've got the limitations of technology itself.
Okay.
Even with powerful systems like SAP S/4HANA, there's always going to be some delay
Okay.
in processing and reporting data.
Right.
Transactions happen throughout the day.
Right.
That data needs to be validated, reconciled, and aggregated before it can be presented in a meaningful way.
And all that takes time.
Exactly, even with automated systems.
So even though we talk about real-time reporting,
Yeah.
it's more realistic to think of it as near real-time,
Right.
with the data being updated frequently and regularly.
Precisely. And the frequency of those updates, it'll depend on things like the volume of transactions your company processes, the complexity of your IT systems, and the capabilities of your reporting tools.
Okay, so it's not one size fits all.
Not at all. For some organizations, near real time might mean updates every hour. For others, it might be daily or even weekly.
Okay, but regardless of the frequency,
Hmm.
the goal is to have the most up-to-date information possible.
Right.
So you can make informed decisions without waiting for those traditional slow-moving financial reports.
Absolutely. And even though achieving 100% real time might be a near impossible dream, the benefits of striving for that goal are undeniable.
Okay.
It's about pushing the limits of what's possible with financial reporting and moving closer to that ideal of having your finger on the pulse of your company's cash flow.
Okay, so we've explored the core components of real-time cash flow reporting in SAP S/4HANA,
Yeah.
and we've acknowledged that true real-time might be more of a fantasy.
Right. More of an aspiration.
But we've also highlighted the value of aiming for those near real-time insights.
Abs.
So let's shift gears now and talk about the why behind all of this.
Okay. The big why.
Why is it so crucial for companies to have this level of insight into their cash flow?
Right.
What are the tangible benefits that make this complex implementation worthwhile?
That's where the real magic happens. It's not just about having fancy dashboards and flashing numbers.
Right.
It's about giving companies the power to make faster, smarter decisions that can seriously boost their bottom line.
So paint a picture for me. What are some scenarios where this real-time insight could be a game changer?
Okay, imagine a company that lives and breathes seasonal sales.
Okay, like a retailer.
Exactly. With those old school reporting methods.
Yeah.
They might have to wait weeks or even months to see how that holiday season rush really impacted them.
Right.
But with near real-time cash flow reporting,
Okay.
they can track those sales trends every day, every hour even.
Wow.
So they can adjust their inventory, their staffing, their marketing campaigns on the fly.
Just to keep up with demand.
Exactly. To optimize cash flow and squeeze out every bit of profit.
So it's like having a finger on the pulse of the business.
Precisely. You're feeling the rhythm. You're in sync.
And you can react quickly.
Exactly. But it's not just about reacting.
Okay.
Real-time data is incredibly powerful for planning and forecasting too.
Okay.
Instead of relying on that static historical data,
Right.
you can plug in up-to-the-minute information into your forecasts.
Okay.
You can create projections that are much more accurate and dynamic.
So I'm seeing how this could be a game changer, especially for companies in those volatile markets.
Absolutely. Or for companies facing economic uncertainty.
Right. Things are changing so fast.
Exactly. Let's say a company's planning a major expansion project.
Okay. Big investment.
With traditional reporting, they might base their financial projections on data that's already outdated,
Right.
which could lead to costly overruns or delays.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
But with near real-time cash flow reporting,
Okay.
they can factor in the most current information on sales trends, material costs, interest rates, and make a much more informed decision about the timing and scope of that project.
So it's like having a crystal ball that helps you see around corners and anticipate those challenges.
Exactly. You're one step ahead of the game.
And let's not forget about risk management.
Oh, that's a big one.
Companies today face so many financial risks.
Absolutely. From those crazy exchange rates to supply chain disruptions, it's a wild world out there.
So having a real-time view of your cash flow, it's like an early warning system.
Exactly. It's like having a radar that can detect those potential liquidity issues before they turn into major problems.
So it's not just about making more money, it's about protecting the business.
Precisely. Real-time cash flow reporting can help companies spot those potential cash shortfalls early on,
Okay.
giving them time to adjust their spending, secure additional financing, or take other proactive measures.
To weather the storm.
Exactly. It's about having that financial agility to adapt and make sure you're always in a strong position no matter what challenges come your way.
I'm seeing the light here. Real-time insights can be so valuable across so many areas of the business.
Absolutely. From sales and marketing to operations and finance, it touches everything.
And that's why it's so important to think of real-time cash flow reporting as more than just a technical thing.
Right. It's a mindset shift.
It's about changing the mindset of the entire organization,
Exactly.
promoting a culture of data-driven decision-making,
Absolutely.
and giving every team the power to use real-time insights to boost their performance.
It's about breaking down those silos between departments,
Right.
making sure everyone is aligned on the same goals, and using real-time data as a common language.
So everyone's speaking the same language.
Exactly. It's about driving better collaboration and smarter decisions across the board.
All right, so we've painted a pretty compelling picture of the potential benefits.
I hope so.
But let's be real, this level of implementation takes a serious investment of time, resources, and expertise.
It does.
So for those listening who are thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but where do I even begin?
Yeah, that's a common question.
What advice would you give them?
Well, first and foremost, you need to start with a clear understanding of your why.
Okay, define the purpose.
Exactly. What are the business challenges you're trying to tackle with real-time cash flow reporting?
Okay.
Are you trying to make your forecast more accurate?
Okay.
Make quicker decisions about investments or acquisitions?
Okay.
Or maybe get a better handle on your working capital?
Right.
Having a well-defined objective that's going to guide your implementation and help you measure your success.
It's like setting a destination before you start a road trip.
Exactly. Without a clear sense of where you're headed, you're likely to get lost.
Okay, so once you have that destination in mind, what are some practical steps?
Well, the next step is to take a good hard look at your current systems and processes.
Okay, take inventory.
Exactly.
Uh,
Are you capturing the right financial data at the right level of detail?
okay.
Are your systems integrated in a way that allows for smooth data flow?
Okay.
Do you have the expertise in-house to manage this kind of complex project?
Right.
Or are you going to need to bring in some outside and help some consultants?
So it's about understanding your current situation,
Yeah.
identifying any gaps or weaknesses,
Right.
and then coming up with a plan to address them.
Exactly. And that assessment should also include a deep dive into your SAP S4HANA system.
Right.
Are you using those transaction types and sub-item categories we talked about
Right.
consistently and accurately?
Okay.
Is your financial master data clean and up to date?
Okay.
Things like customer information vendor, details product codes.
Right, the basis.
These are all those foundational pieces that need to be in place
Okay.
before you can even think about real-time reporting.
Like building a house, you got to start with a strong foundation.
Exactly. Our expert source, Dr. Sisfantas Moji, he's very clear about those transaction types.
Okay.
You can't skip them.
No shortcuts.
Trying to work around them or create custom solutions is asking for trouble.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is. Those transaction types are built into SAP S/4HANA for a reason. They're the key to unlocking the system's real-time capabilities.
Okay.
Trying to bypass them, it's like trying to drive a car without using the steering wheel.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's a good one.
You might move forward for a bit,
Right.
but you're going to crash eventually.
So let's say you've done your homework, you've assessed your systems, and you're feeling good about this whole thing.
You're ready to jump in.
What's next?
This is where finding the right partner becomes super important.
Okay.
Unless you've got a team of seasoned SAP S/4HANA gurus in-house,
Right.
you're going to need some outside help.
Okay.
Some consultants who really know their stuff.
Okay.
Someone who understands the complexities of S/4HANA group reporting.
Right.
Someone who can speak the language of finance and translate all that technical jargon.
Right. So we can understand it.
Exactly. And someone who can really partner with you
Okay.
to understand your specific goals and tailor the implementation accordingly.
So they're not just forcing a one-size-fits-all solution on you? Exactly.
They need to be flexible and responsive to your unique needs.
So what can these expert consultants actually do for us?
They can help you design and configure the right reporting structures within SAP S/4HANA.
Okay.
Map your transaction types and sub-item categories correctly.
Right.
Set up all the necessary automation to make sure that data is flowing smoothly and accurately.
Okay.
And ultimately, empower you to get those meaningful insights from that data and use them to make better decisions.
So they're like our guides on this real-time reporting journey.
Exactly. They're there to help you navigate the complexities and make sure you reach your destination.
And once the system's up and running, they can provide ongoing support and training too.
Absolutely. They'll make sure your team knows how to use those real-time insights effectively.
Okay, so it's an investment for sure, but the potential return on that investment could be huge.
It could be transformative for your business.
All right, so we've talked about the why behind real-time cash flow reporting, the potential benefits, the steps involved in implementation. Yeah.
We've also stressed how important it is to use the built-in features of SAP S/4HANA.
Right, those transaction types, for example.
Exactly, to streamline things and avoid creating unnecessary headache.
Absolutely, keep it clean. But now I want to address something we touched on earlier.
Okay, what's that?
Is it truly real-time?
Ah, yes, the eternal question.
Or is near real-time a more accurate way to describe it?
That's an important distinction.
Right.
You see the term real-time thrown around a lot in marketing and sales pitches.
Yeah, it's a buzzword.
It is. But it's important to understand that there's always going to be some lag, some delay,
Okay.
even with the most sophisticated systems out there.
So it's not like watching a live sporting event
Not quite.
where you see the action happening right as it happens.
Right. Think of it this way. Financial transactions are happening all day long.
Right.
But that data has to be captured,
Right.
validated, reconciled, and then aggregated
Right.
before you can turn it into something meaningful. A report, a chart.
And all that takes time.
Exactly, even with automation.
So it's more like watching a live sporting event on a slight delay.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You're still seeing the action, but it's not happening at the exact same moment.
Precisely. And the length of that delay, that near real-time gap,
Yeah.
it varies depending on things like the volume of transactions. Your company handles the complexity of your systems and the power of your reporting tools.
Okay. So it's not a fixed number.
Not at all.
But even with that slight delay,
Yeah.
those benefits of having near real-time visibility into your cash flow, they're still huge,
They are, absolutely.
as we've been discussing.
And as technology keeps getting better,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can expect those delays to shrink even more,
Okay.
bringing us closer to that true real-time ideal.
Right.
But for now, near real-time is a very achievable goal,
Okay.
and it can provide substantial benefits for most organizations.
So let's put this into perspective for our listener.
Okay.
We know 100% real-time might not be possible.
Right.
So what level of real-time is good enough for a company?
That's a great question.
Is it hourly updates, daily summaries, or somewhere in between?
It really depends on the specific needs and goals of each organization.
Okay.
A company that's super sensitive to those short-term cash flow fluctuations,
Okay.
like a retailer managing inventory during the holiday rush.
Right.
They might need hourly updates or even more frequent.
Wow.
But for a company with more predictable cash flows,
Okay.
daily or weekly updates might be just fine.
It's about finding that balance.
The balance
Oh.
between the level of detail you need and the effort it takes to get it.
Right.
And don't forget about the human factor.
Okay.
How often do your decision makers really need to see that updated cash flow information to make smart choices?
Right.
Bombarding them with constant updates might actually make things worse.
Information overload.
Exactly. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
You just get overwhelmed.
Exactly. You're getting a lot of information, but you can't process it effectively.
Right.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where you're providing enough real-time insight to empower decision-making
Right.
without overwhelming people with data.
So not too much, not too little.
Just the right amount.
Okay, so we've explored the why behind real-time cash flow reporting,
Yeah.
the challenges, the benefits of implementing it, and what real-time actually means in the real world.
In practical terms.
Now let's dive into some of the specific steps companies can take to get started.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks.
Our expert source, Dr. Sisvantes Manja, he outlines a whole process for setting this up
Okay.
in SAP S4HANA group reporting.
Right.
So let's walk through some of the key highlights.
So that's good.
He starts by emphasizing how important it is to define your reporting structure.
Okay. The framework.
Right. This involves creating reporting items,
Right.
which are basically your custom-defined cash flow categories.
All right.
So you need to think carefully about what categories are most relevant for your business
Right.
and how you want to group your cash flow data.
So it's not one size fits all.
Exactly. This is where a deep understanding of your company's financial processes and reporting needs is crucial.
Absolutely. You need to consider things like your industry, your business model,
Right.
and the specific decisions you need to make based on that cash flow data.
So it's about tailoring the reporting structure to your unique needs.
Precisely.
Okay, so once you've defined your reporting items, what's next?
The next step is to map those reporting items to the right transaction types.
Right, those codes we talked about earlier.
Exactly, the ones that classify your financial transactions.
Okay.
This is where things can get pretty technical
Okay.
and where having a skilled SAP consultant can be a lifesaver.
And as we've already established, those transaction types, they're non-negotiable.
Absolutely no cutting corners there.
Trying to work around them or build custom solutions is just asking for trouble.
It is. They're the foundation of the entire system.
Okay.
They ensure your financial data is categorized correctly and flows into those real-time reports.
So they're essential.
Absolutely. Trying to bypass them is like trying to build a bridge without any supports.
Yeah, that's not going to end well.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It might look impressive for a while, but it's going to collapse eventually.
All right, so we've defined our reporting items, mapped them to the right transaction types.
Check and check.
What else is on the real-time reporting checklist?
Dr. Sisvantes Monji also highlights those sub-item categories.
Right, we talked about those.
They provide more granular detail for your reports.
Okay.
This is where you can break down those broad cash flow categories into more specific subcategories,
Right.
giving you a richer understanding of where your cash is coming from and where it's going.
So if reporting items are the chapters in our financial story,
Yeah,
sub-item categories are the paragraphs that provide the details.
that's a great way to put it. They add depth and context to your reporting.
And this level of detail is crucial for making those informed decisions.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let's say you're seeing a drop in cash flow from operating activities.
Yeah.
With sub-item categories, you can pinpoint whether it's because of lower sales, higher expenses,
Okay.
or maybe your inventory costs have gone up.
So you can get specific.
Exactly. And that helps you identify the root cause of the problem and fix it.
Okay, so we've got our reporting items, our transaction types, our sub-item categories all set up.
We're in good shape.
Are we ready to hit the go button?
Not quite yet. Dr. Sisvantes Monge stresses the importance of testing and validating your setup.
Okay, before we go live.
Exactly. You need to run different scenarios, compare your real-time reports to your existing financial statements,
Okay.
and make sure everything is lining up as expected.
It's like taking a new car for a test drive.
Precisely. You want to make sure everything's running smoothly
Right.
and that you're comfortable with the information you're seeing.
Before you hit the open road.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the key steps in setting up real-time cash flow reporting in SAP S4HANA group reporting. Define your reporting structure, map. Those transaction types use sub-item categories. And thoroughly test everything.
Don't skip that step.
But it's important to remember this isn't a one-and-done project.
Right, it's an ongoing process.
It requires continuous monitoring, adjustment, and improvement.
Exactly as your business changes.
Yeah.
Your reporting needs will change too.
Okay.
You might need to add new reporting items, adjust your transaction type mappings,
Okay.
or refine your sub-item categories
Right.
to make sure those real-time reports are always giving you the most relevant and actionable insights.
So it's like tending a garden. You have to keep nurturing it.
Exactly. You
Right.
prune away the dead branches, you make adjustments to keep it thriving.
All right. So we've explored the technical side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the human element?
Ah, yes, the people factor.
What challenges might companies face
Okay.
when they're trying to implement real-time reporting?
Yeah, from a cultural or organizational perspective.
Exactly.
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is often resistance to change.
People don't like change.
People are creatures of habit. They can be reluctant to embrace new ways of doing things,
Right.
especially if it means learning new systems or processes.
So it's not just about implementing technology, it's about changing hearts and minds.
Absolutely, you need to get people on board.
Another challenge can be a lack of understanding or buy-in
Okay.
from those key stakeholders.
Yeah, if those at the top don't get it,
Right.
if they don't see the value of real-time reporting,
Yeah.
they might not be willing to invest the resources or provide the support needed.
So you need strong leadership.
Absolutely. Leaders who champion this initiative and communicate its importance throughout the organization.
And it's also important to involve everyone who will be using the system,
Right? Get input from all those stakeholders.
from finance to IT to operations to sales.
Everyone.
So it's about building a coalition of support
Exactly.
and creating a shared understanding of the goals and benefits of real-time reporting.
You got it.
And communication is key.
Absolutely.
Training communication.
You need to make sure everyone who's going to be using the new system knows how to use it, how to interpret the data,
Right.
and keep everyone updated on the progress.
Okay.
The challenges, the successes, celebrate those wins.
So it's not just flipping a switch and expecting everyone to magically adapt.
Exactly. You need to guide people through the process, provide support,
Yeah.
celebrate those milestones along the way.
Make it a journey.
Exactly. Remember, change is rarely easy.
Yeah.
But with careful planning, strong leadership, and open communication, you could overcome those challenges
Okay.
and create a culture where those real-time insights become a natural part of how you make decisions.
So it's a cultural shift.
Absolutely, a shift towards a more data-driven, agile way of doing business.
All right, so we've talked about the technical side, implementation, the challenges and benefits,
Right.
and the importance of getting everyone on board.
Yeah.
But now I want to turn the tables a bit.
Okay, how so?
Knowing what you now know about all the complexities and nuances of real-time reporting, would you even try for that 100% real-time approach?
Wow, that's a tough one.
Or would you focus on getting to a level of near real-time that's good enough for your needs?
That's a great question to ponder. There's no right or wrong answer.
Right. It depends.
It depends on your specific situation, your risk tolerance,
Okay.
and how much you're willing to invest to achieve that level of insight.
Right.
But remember, even if you don't hit that 100% real-time mark,
Yeah.
striving for that goal can still bring about some major improvements
Okay.
in your financial processes and your decision-making.
So it's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. It's about pushing the limits of what's possible with financial reporting
Okay.
and finding that balance between accuracy, timeliness, and what's practical for your organization.
So there's a lot to think about here.
There's a lot to consider.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into real-time cash flow reporting in SAP S/4HANA.
We have.
We've explored the complexities,
It's a challenge
the
of it.
benefits, and then the practical steps involved in implementing it. Mm-hmm. And we've stressed the importance of using those built-in features of SAP S/4HANA.
Right, using the tools that are already there.
Like those transaction types.
Absolutely.
To streamline things and avoid creating unnecessary headaches.
Exactly. Don't reinvent the wheel.
But now I want to turn our attention to some other key takeaways from Dr. Sisvantas Monji's article.
Okay, what else did he have to say?
What should our listeners keep in mind as they continue on this real-time reporting journey?
One of his main points is to use the built-in functionality of SAP S/4HANA Group Reporting.
Okay, stick with the system.
Exactly. Don't try to hack it.
Right?
Trying to work around those features, building custom solutions, relying on manual workarounds.
Yeah.
Might seem tempting at first,
Right.
but it can create a tangled mess down the road.
Okay.
Inconsistencies, inefficiencies, it's not worth it.
So leverage the power of SAP S/4HANA.
Exact. It's designed for this.
Right. It's built for real-time reporting.
Trying to outsmart the system usually backfires.
So another key point he makes is the importance of data quality.
Oh, yes. Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. Real-time reporting is only as good as the data you feed into it.
Precisely if your financial data is inaccurate, incomplete, or inconsistent,
Yeah.
your real-time reports are going to be useless.
So you have to invest in data cleansing validation.
Absolutely. And governance process.
To make sure your data is accurate, reliable, and ready for prime time.
Exactly.
And this isn't just a one-time thing.
No, it's an ongoing process.
Data quality has to be a top priority.
A continuous process of monitoring, improvement, refinement.
Like keeping your house clean.
Exactly. You can't just clean it once and expect it to stay that way forever.
Right. You have to keep at it.
You need good habit systems in place, make it part of your routine.
Okay, so we've talked about using what SAP S/4HANA already offers, making sure our data is top-notch.
Right. Clean data is crucial.
And the importance of monitoring and making things better over time.
Continuous improvement.
Any other nuggets of wisdom from Dr. Sisvantas Monge?
He also talks about change management.
Okay.
This isn't just about technology.
Right.
It's about people.
It always is.
You need to communicate clearly.
Oh.
Provide training and support.
Yeah.
Address any concerns.
Right.
Any resistance to change.
To bring people along on the journey.
Exactly. Don't just throw a new system at them and expect them to figure it out.
Right.
Change can be tough.
Yeah.
People need time to adjust, learn new skills,
Okay.
adapt to new ways of working.
So be mindful of the human element.
Absolutely. If you do that, you can make the transition smoother and increase your chances of success.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, we've explored the technical aspects of implementing real-time cash flow reporting.
Right, and nuts and bolts.
The challenges, the benefits, and the practical steps involved.
Yeah, a roadmap for success.
We've highlighted the importance of using the power of SAP S/4HANA.
Right, leveraging the tools at your disposal.
Making sure our data is top-notch.
Clean data is king.
And managing change effectively.
Bringing people along on the journey.
And we've emphasized that even if you don't reach that 100% real-time ideal, striving for that goal can still lead to big improvement.
In your financial processes.
In your decision-making.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And finding the right balance for your organization.
Exactly. A balance between accuracy, timeliness, and practicality.
We've covered a lot, but there's always more to explore.
Absolutely.
What other resources or avenues can our listeners pursue to learn more about real-time reporting and SAP S/4HANA?
Well, definitely check out Dr. Sisvantas Monge's full article in SAP Insider Magazine.
Okay.
He goes into a lot more detail than we could cover here.
Right.
And for those who really want to get their hands dirty,
Okay.
SAP offers training courses and certifications,
Okay.
specifically on S/4HANA Group reporting.
So you can really build your expertise.
Exactly. And there's a ton of information online.
Right.
Blogs, articles, forums, communities.
The AP community is huge.
It is. You can connect with other professionals and learn from their experiences.
So don't be afraid to explore and seek out knowledge.
Exactly. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be.
And remember, we're always here to help.
Absolutely.
Reach out to us with any questions, challenges, or insights you have.
We love hearing from our listeners.
We do. It helps us keep these conversations going.
We're all on this journey together.
We are.
Trying to make sense of our financial data.
Right.
Use it to make smarter decisions and achieve better outcomes.
So on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into real-time cash flow reporting in SAP S/4HANA.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little inspiring.
And maybe a little overwhelming.
Haha. Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
But that's the nature of the beast.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries with your financial data.
Absolutely. Never stop learning.
So we've